Hello and welcome to Never Seen It, a podcast about movies we haven't seen yet. My name is Trent. I'm here with my wife, Betsy.
I'm always here.
You are the co-host today and every day. It is Sunday here on Never Seen It, so that means we're going to go off and watch a different kind of a movie rather than an Oscar movie, at least for the time being.
Is it Sunday? We do this out of order. I don't know what day it is.
Yeah, we are like way out of order right now. I don't care though, as long as we can keep it on track in our heads, that's all that matters.
There we go.
Today, we are going to go to the theater again and see another Marvel movie. How many of these have we seen on this podcast so far?
902.
Not that many. I'm just going to go
give
off on a
or
limb.
take, plus or minus 10.
It's probably been like 4 or 5?
We've done every single one in the last 2 years.
Everything since...
I think we're up to like 6 or 7, actually,
it's
if
everything,
we really think about it.
Yeah, since Black Widow. But anyway, we're going to go and watch Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. I think this is coming in at like second place for longest title in the MCU.
Is it really? I suppose.
That's my guess anyway, because
Apart
Doctor
from-
Strange
yeah.
in the Multiverse of Madness has got to be the longest one.
Except for maybe Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Even then, that's probably got the most words. Anyway, we're off track already. Betsy, obviously this movie just came out, and let's just come out and say it. It's not getting very good reviews.
It is being received very poorly by critics, but the fans are still showing up and appreciating it.
And we're going to see it on opening weekend, so the
Yes.
people who are going to go out and see it in the theater on opening weekend are diehard fans.
The people who are just going to see it at all, at this point, I think people are a little bit burnt out on Marvel. We're kind of in the minority of the people who are still showing up at the theater. It's not a must-see event anymore.
No.
They'll all just get around to it when it shows up on Disney+.
That's pretty much how I think a lot of people are taking this.
But you and I have never seen an Ant-Man movie in the theater.
Yeah.
We kind of skipped the first one because it was before we were really involved watching all the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
The second one we could have seen, we just didn't get around to it. And
Yeah,
so
I don't know why.
It sort of came and went, and that was it. So we're going to see this in the theater because of that reason more than anything.
There's not going to be another Ant-Man. I highly doubt it.
Probably not, but it's kind of at that place where we don't know.
Kevin Feige was out there saying Ant-Man was planned as a trilogy.
Okay.
So you take that as you will. But anyway, sitting here right before we're going to the theater, this movie is sitting at like 48% critic score. And the consensus is it's just not trying very hard. There's not a lot that happens, but the redeeming things are all having to do with the villain, Kang. It is the introduction of Kang, even though the visage of Kang showed up in the Loki TV series.
Right, this is his first movie appearance.
Yes, but in the Loki thing, he's not Kang.
Well, he is. So here's, okay.
Yeah, it's a whole weird
It's complicated.
variant thing.
We have gotten into the multiverse. So when he is
Yes.
introduced, he's just kind of a dude. He's a little bit insane, but he's just a dude. And he says...
He who remains
he
is how he
says,
is referred to.
I won the multiversal war. I
Yeah.
got rid of all the other versions of me, and
Yep.
I'm the only one who's left.
And he tells this story about I was a dude on Earth in the 31st century,
scientist.
and he discovered, along with his other variants, how to communicate and travel between universes. And that's what triggered the multiversal war that Betsy just mentioned here. And it's a long, complicated story, and in the end, Sylvie, the other Loki character, ended up killing him.
Spoiler alert, if
yeah.
you're 2 years behind
Sure.
the show like we were.
So that is causing all of this guy's variants to come out of the woodwork.
The multiverse goes back to being a multiverse instead of a single timeline.
Yeah.
And so you've got this villain who is going to be the main bad guy in the coming movies. So like
Yes.
the next Avengers movie is something about him.
Yeah.
And
he
so,
is the new big bad.
So it's not going to be Kang as he was in the TV show. It's going to be a different version of Kang. Whether or not this is the one that will then go on into the rest of the movies has yet to be seen, because we know the whole thing about him is he's real bad and he's everywhere.
Yeah. So going back to talk about this movie, my understanding here is that Kang is somehow in the quantum realm.
In the Scott Lang universe,
Yeah.
they make a beacon, like a signal to say we're here to help, and they get sucked into the quantum realm, and that is where they find Kang.
Yeah. And this is just based on the trailers that have been put out here. There's apparently, we've talked about this kind of off mic, there is a character called MODOK. There was a Hulu TV series cartoon thing starring Patton Oswalt with MODOK, and that's not canon. He's just kind of a weird, stupid character that a lot of people love from the comics.
This is somebody that they've been wanting in the universe for some time.
The comic book nerds want MODOK.
And they're going to get him.
And my understanding here is that the MODOK that they encounter in this movie is the Corey Stoll character
from the
first Ant-Man. The villain from the first Ant-Man, who was like shrunk down. Like when he got killed, I think, he was shrunk down all the way and like run over by a train. At least that was the implication.
He just kind of sucked into a void, and we didn't really know exactly what happened to him.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him since, but apparently he's in this one because he's voicing that character.
Yeah, he became MODOK. So how he fits into all this stuff, I have no idea. I feel like this movie is going to be kind of like Eternals, where they're just going to throw a bunch of stuff at you and hope that you like the journey.
There's a lot of people, because as we've progressed through the series, now we've got Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer, and we have Kang, and we have Corey Stoll, and we have his daughter who's now older, and the whole crux is that he didn't get that time with her, so Kang can make that happen for him, and he's seduced to the dark side, I guess. But I think the strongest thing about this is going to be, one, Jonathan Majors, like you said, and two, the visuals. I suspect, if anything, this movie is all about the visuals.
It's going to be a big CGI ride, and we just had that with Thor: Love and Thunder, and in our awards, I gave that one of my most disappointing. I think I might have won. I can't remember.
Maybe we'll have a repeat.
Yeah. So, again, I'm really curious about the Kang character. Jonathan Majors, by all accounts, is the star of this movie and is like this charismatic villain that you really, really want.
We'll see.
So, anyway, we're going to go out and go to the theater, watch Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. We'll be right back. We're back. That was Quantumania. Betsy, what did you think of the latest Marvel offering?
Did you know that the name Ant-Man is in the word Quantumania?
I was aware.
This one is fine. Like, it's just fine.
I don't see what the big hubbub is about this not being good. It was fine.
I don't think it's great. I don't think it's bad. It's just fine. Like, it wasn't boring in the way Eternals was. It's not incredible the way some of the other movies have been. There was very little to move this along and compel me. Like, I was a little bit bored at different times where I was just like, not that it was bad, but that I've seen it before. Oh, it's a big action scene. Oh, here comes the bad guy. Here's some humor. It's just more of the same.
And it is definitely better than Love and Thunder, because that movie, it was another big CGI fest like this is, but at least in this one, they're not kind of phoning it in. I felt like Love and Thunder was phoning it in.
Well,
and like forcing the issue.
At least with that one, they had some emotional moments. Like this one, the whole thing about Ant-Man is they're playing up Paul Rudd and his charm and humor. And so we got a little of that. I kind of wish we had done more.
Yeah, a lot of what people have been saying is this one was too serious. Like you had the beginning of the movie where he's kind of narrating what's going on in his life. And man, isn't my life weird?
All those strange things that have happened to me.
Right, and like that was the normal Ant-Man kind of an arc to him, but then you get in the middle of it and it's just him trying to save his daughter because she's always in peril, has to be in peril because it's a movie. And yeah, I get what they're saying about maybe it's a little bit too serious and maybe the villain didn't really fit with the Ant-Man kind of vibe.
I feel like the problem with this movie is that they knew they wanted to introduce Kang as the next big villain, and they needed to put him somewhere. So they started with the villain and then picked the movie around it. Like, you could have picked Kang for anybody. Like, pit Kang up against Thor, put him up in the new Captain America movie that's gonna come out. You know, we could have done that, but we picked Ant-Man. Why? Well, because it was time for a third Ant-Man.
Well, and you have to introduce him in a way that you can answer the question, well, where's he been?
Right. You mean Scott or Kang?
Kang.
Well, and as we touched on in the intro, we've only met him on the TV show Loki.
Yes.
And we know there are many versions of him, and this is another one.
Yeah, and in Loki, he is released by Sylvie for stabbing him, and
he basically, by dying, it unleashes all the rest of them. They had been wrangled, now they're not. So that's kind of what we're getting here, is they have been unleashed on the universe.
Yeah, and like the thing I was trying to remind myself of while we were watching this is Loki happened in 2012. In our timeline here, the Avengers happened in 2012. That's when the big New York invasion happened. That's when he disappeared. He gets the Tesseract and he vanishes. So in the timeline, that's when that happened. At the end of season 1 of Loki, they release Kang upon the world by killing He Who Remains.
Right.
Okay? And at that point in time, he is released, like this Kang in the quantum realm is released from whatever exile that he is, I guess.
Presumably, because they say he's exiled by the other Kangs into this place because it is beyond space and time and he cannot escape.
Yeah, and I think is that a connection there, like where he is discovered by Michelle Pfeiffer?
So they made some mention of him being a scientist. So
Yes.
I almost wonder if he isn't the original Kang that discovered the multiverse, because in Loki they say something about a variant of me in this century was a scientist who figured this all out.
Right.
And they specifically say he's a scientist.
Yes, and he found all of the other hymns from, and he said, I've lived 1,000,000 lives, and you know, that's probably true, because at the very, very end of this movie, you are introduced to a whole lot of him.
A stadium full of Kang.
Yeah.
Oops, all Kangs.
Yeah. That's what I was kind of dwelling on here, and I could be completely wrong, that was what triggered him to be released from whatever prison he was in, and he met Michelle Pfeiffer in the quantum realm, and I mean, this is where we are, and this is where we've been for the past 8-some years.
Listen, the timeline is completely fucked up now. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm sure if we looked it up, there is the definitive Marvel timeline placing all of these movies and events where they actually take place. And it is so confusing because the movies are basically taking place out of order, being released out of order. Some are in this universe, some are in that universe.
Yeah.
It is just a whole mess now.
Well, I mean, it makes sense that he's had all this time in the quantum realm, even though time is relative in this place.
And that's the
that
other
doesn't really
thing.
matter. He's had time to build up his army and become this tyrant.
He becomes the Conqueror. So in this
Yeah.
version, he is Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah.
But he's also really sad. Like, the
Yeah.
way he is playing this character in this one. So in Loki, he's isolated, alone, and at
And
the
a
end
little
of the
bit
universe,
crazy.
and a little bit crazy. And so he's got like a lot of energy, and he's cracking jokes, and he's really like weird and funny.
And I love the moment in that Loki scene where it's finally to the point where he doesn't know what's going to happen. This is the crux where either he's going to be killed or he's just going to go away.
Yeah, destiny is changing now
Yeah.
because he has this ability to see all the possible paths. And so this
Yeah.
Kang in Quantumania is no different. He can see all of the events as they unfold. He knows what's going to happen, but he plays him very differently. Like, this is a more like, I have been exiled and I have deep feelings about that.
I mean, yeah, he's pissed off.
He's playing it really quiet and tired.
Until he's not.
But he's very calm. Like the whole movie, like he is in no hurry. Like to get anywhere, to do anything, all of his motions are small and contained. And he's just like, you're going to do this. You're going to do what I ask you because you know I will destroy you otherwise.
He is like super Darth Vader. Okay?
Okay.
In that he is so powerful. He can just, with his 2 little fingers, smash Scott up against the prison wall and like lift up Cassie and do all this stuff without really making any kind of effort.
He's kind of bored almost.
Yeah, like this is nothing for him. Like, you do not want to fuck with me because I will end you, like we see later in the movie where he's just dissolving people at will.
But it takes them pissing him off to do it because he's about to leave. Like they unhatch his plan. He gets the thing he needs to get to restart the battery of his
it's all about a battery.
His multi-dimensional space machine. And so they get it going, and he's going to leave this world. He's going to leave his exile
with his army.
And he's going to take over the multiverse and get his revenge.
He's just going to go to wherever the people who exiled him to this place, and he's going to get his revenge on them and continue on his conquering of other worlds and timelines.
But yeah, he plays it very like, I'm tired of being here.
Yeah.
I'm bored of being here. I have to do what I have to do, which is be a conqueror.
Yeah.
So I've conquered this place. I'm done.
This world is already conquered. I got nothing left to do here except build my army.
So there's a couple of little plot holes, I feel like. At the beginning, and they show it in the trailer, they send a signal to the quantum realm.
Yep.
And then a signal bounces back, and that's what she's been designing, and they get pulled in. They don't really explain that.
No. It's a movie, Betsy.
They just kind of let it happen, and they're all there, and then things unfold. So there's just like little loose moments like that where you just kind of have to go along for the ride.
It's Alice in Wonderland. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. Alice in Wonderland.
Along with growing and shrinking and
I hadn't really thought about
drinking
that.
Weird goo.
Feels like you're on like a fucking drug trip half the movie.
Yeah, with all those fucking creatures and whatnot. Yep. That's how I took it.
Yeah, I hadn't considered that, but you're not wrong. And so yeah, they get sucked in, they get separated. This group's over here doing this. This group's over here doing that.
Yeah, there's the rebels and then there's the rest.
We find out that Janet has more of a history with Kang than we realize.
Well, she has a history with everybody down here.
Yeah, she was a good guy, and then she got involved with the bad guy, but she didn't know he was a bad guy. But then she was in the rebellion, but then she was out of the... There's like...
Well, she got out and left them all there.
Yes. And she did the only thing she could to stop him, which was she destroyed his device, because she's got Pym particles down there.
Well, she doesn't destroy it. She just made it really big.
I forgot that she had a suit down there, because that's how they established she got to the quantum realm, was she went microscopic. She went teeny tiny. Yeah. And so she still had her suit. But after 30 years, she still has Pym particles. Really?
Nah.
Really? We're gonna go with it. So yeah, there's just these kind of convenient things that happen. The ants, they have an ant farm in the lab and it gets sucked down in there with them. And so the ants come back later.
And they just kind of brush off him saying, oh yeah, they hit a time thing and they've been evolving all this time. And now there's millions of these ants and their technology is just bitching.
They lived 1,000 years in a day.
Yeah.
And now they're here to help.
Sure.
So yeah, there's just kind of a lot of that where there's a goo that makes them understand the creatures in this realm, where they all speak their own language, but if you drink the goo, now you can understand them. There's a guy who's psychic, because why not? That's funny. You've got the badass warrior chick. You've got Bill Murray for one scene of this movie. And then, you know, Corey Stoll shows back up as MODOK.
MODOK. That was maybe the best part of the movie, I think.
Okay. So,
I love MODOK.
So, talk about MODOK.
I mean, there's not much to talk about because, like we said in the intro, Corey Stoll, Dennis, is that his name?
Darren.
Darren. from the first movie gets sucked down into the quantum realm. He's basically dead, but Kang finds him and gives him this suit.
He can rebuild him. He made him stronger.
He has the technology to make him into, what is it called? Mechanized organism designed only for killing. Is what he stands for, the name stands for.
I like that they also call out, well, shouldn't that be Modok?
You can drop a letter in there, it's fine. But no, I think bringing him back is this really, really weird character. And again, I know nothing about the comic books. I know MODOK is a much bigger character in those comics. And the fact that they were able to get him in there with a character that already existed, so you already kind of know his backstory, and it's this stupid, baby-legged, floating head.
He was basically compacted on the way into the quantum realm,
right.
And he is a head with, like, a giant head with tiny human-sized arms and legs.
Right.
And he is very disturbing looking.
It's like they put Corey Stoll's head up against a glass window and just photographed that.
Yeah, he's like pressed out and weird. It's like almost... It's hard to describe this thing because it looks like it's computer animated, but it also just looks like they filmed his face doing all the lines and then stretched it out.
Yeah, it's just distorted.
So I can't tell which version they did, but it was very weird looking.
That's the thing. That's what I love. Just how weird it is. And yeah, I got nothing else to say.
So I will say that they at least gave him some things to do. So he shows up, he's all evil, he's there to kill people, but they keep stealing his thunder. So like he's giving this big speech about how he was destroyed, but now he's back. And then in the middle of it, it clicks in Scott's brain and he goes, wait, Darren? And this keeps happening throughout the movie where he's like giving a speech and someone cuts him off because they realize who he is.
Yeah.
So that was kind of funny. And then like at the end of the movie, Cassie convinces him that he can be a good guy. He doesn't have to be such a dick.
You just don't have to be a dick.
But look at me. I'm already a dick. It's too late for me. It's never too late to not be a dick.
And he takes that advice to heart and fucks up Kang.
He's like, my name is Darren, and I'm not a dick. So it was weird because knowing his character from the first one, none of this makes any sense.
No, there should be no redeeming arc for that villain.
No, and it doesn't, I don't understand it. Like at all, other than they wanted an excuse to bring MODOK into this.
I think that's it. They wanted an excuse to get MODOK in here to the MCU somehow, because you couldn't do it in any other capacity.
Probably not.
Because, so yeah, this has to be in the quantum realm. It's not going to exist anywhere else ever again.
Or if it does, we're in more of the multiverse stuff. And it's probably a different actor and a different time. So kind of like when we watched Multiverse of Madness, and there's like a version of the Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic.
Sure.
He's not going to be in another version. It's not going to be John Krasinski. Are we going to get Patrick Stewart ever again? Probably not.
Probably not.
But MODOK, you might get again as a different version. Like, I have no idea where they're going to take this story. But again, this is an element of this movie that just feels like we wanted an excuse to introduce this character.
Yeah.
So let's put him in Ant-Man.
Yeah.
That's just how it feels with MODOK in particular and Kang. Like, we just needed a stepping stone to get them in the rest of the universe, or just MODOK in general because he's got such a fan following.
I think that's really what it is. That is fan service through and through. But of course, you cannot replace Corey Stoll. I don't care if they bring him back in another case. You have to bring back Corey Stoll because we love Corey Stoll on this podcast.
Well, we love Corey Stoll, but like I said, it felt like a weird forced thing. And he just had this strange arc where he went in the first movie from normal businessman to kind of crazy evil businessman.
To like a homicidal businessman.
And then in this one, he's just this weird homicidal floating head with tiny legs. And like when they show him emerging from the goo and you see his little animated butt.
Yeah.
It was just a weird sequence. And then he has this dramatic shift where he's chasing Cassie and she just somehow gets through to him. suddenly and without cause.
Yeah, I think the writing here is a little lazy because you can dismiss a whole lot of like bad writing and just go for a laugh by saying a swear. I think that's really what happened here.
Like, it was funny when he was saying, I'm not a dick, and coming in to save the day, but
that's
we
the
didn't
thing.
grow to get that.
It's not earned.
No, it was just evil, good.
Yeah.
There was no middle ground. There was no... I sometimes think back on my life and look at my choices and wish I could have changed things. He doesn't have any of that.
Sure.
He just decides to not be a dick.
And this being a third movie of these characters, you didn't need to really introduce anybody new. So you could have actually taken this character and ran with it a little bit, or you could have had more with Kang, or more of the flashbacks with Kang and Michelle Pfeiffer. I don't know. There's some extra time here they could have used.
I'm glad it was only 2 hours, I'll be honest. If they had
Sure.
made this the extra 20 minutes, it might have helped the movie. It might have hurt the movie. I really don't know. I don't know where you could have added 20 minutes or what you could have added to improve this or what you really could have changed to improve this.
Yeah.
Like, it was fun. It was fine. It's not an amazing movie, though.
No, and I think, like we keep on saying about the Love and Thunder movie, it was a big CG fest. Everything was done on green screen, which everything is already, but this one felt a little bit better because they were actually on set together, except for when the family got separated and they went to their separate groups of people.
You have a mission and we have a mission. Yeah. But at least, in Quantumania, you knew it was all going to be CG.
Because it has to be.
It establishes very quickly the only way this world can exist and will exist is this way.
But I'll say this. I got major, Star Wars vibes off of a lot of that. I was thinking
that too!
I fully expected there are some Easter eggs in here that I did not catch.
So there's
especially when they go to the bar.
There's kind of a desert people.
Yep.
And when they are trying to disguise themselves, the outfits they put on are brown and red, and they have these goggles, and it just made me feel like I was watching Star Wars.
Like they're on Tatooine.
They're on Tatooine. They're on a desert planet. And then when they get to the bar, and there's those people with the red cloaks, that felt very Star Wars to me. I'm really glad you also noticed that, because it was kind of driving me insane at times.
Even all the different creatures that are on this planet. No, in this area.
Holy shit, that guy looks like broccoli.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just all Star Wars, and that's cool. With maybe you should have put a little bit of an extra wink and a nod there for just ripping that off. But it's all owned by the same company, so who cares?
It could have been coincidental. It just we're so used to watching Star Wars that it felt like that. But it definitely was something I
got
the fact that we both noticed
the vibes are all the way there. And even with Kang, I said he was super Darth Vader.
Yep.
He's got these force powers. He can just whip them out on a dime and use them on whatever.
But of course, his powers are tied to his suit. And, like any good villain, you wear green and purple.
Of course.
So he is able to regain his powers through Janet's help when they restart his machine.
Yeah, he gets his suit back.
And that's enough.
Yeah, and that's enough for him to actually be able to conquer this world, but not to leave.
And then there's this just other sea of random characters that we're introduced to, the locals, as it were.
Yeah.
And they're mostly funny. There's a goo guy who's... I don't know his name, but he is the one that they drink his fluids and they can speak the language. And he's obsessed with holes because he doesn't have any.
Right.
And then he gets shot up later and he's so excited to have a hole.
I have holes!
That he can now expand them and eat the guards.
Yeah.
And it's just this weird escalation that happens quickly.
Yeah.
You've got a guy, like I said, who can read minds. He's a psychic. And again, we're trying to be funny, stop thinking that. Stop it. Please stop thinking that.
Yeah, and they go for kind of the lazy jokes about, be glad that you can't do what I can do because everybody is just gross.
Yeah, I hate this. This power sucks.
Yeah. But then you also have the leader of this pack, and there's not much for her to do, but I loved her weapon.
I don't even remember what it was.
She was able to stab people and they would kind of dissolve and splatter away.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
She only really got to use it like once before she got captured.
Sure.
And then I sort of forgot about
I don't know.
her.
I really liked how that looked.
Sure, but she's, again, not a defined character. She's this badass chick.
Yeah.
She says something about, you let him right to us. At least you have a home. We don't know where she came from or why she is here.
There's a lot of history here.
Yeah, we didn't get any of it.
Speaking of badass chicks, I love how Michelle Pfeiffer is depicted in this movie as just being this hyper-capable, just badass who can, like, fucking rope this flying manta ray thing and has to stab a guy and cut his arm off in order to get him to say hello.
And she knows how all the machinery works. This is somebody who has lived in this world a
30
long
years.
time.
Yeah.
And she never talks about it, so we don't know the extent of her knowledge. Because, of course, when we visited the quantum realm in the last Ant-Man, there wasn't anything there.
No, they were in and out.
They were in and out. There wasn't anything of consequence. They show up, they find her, they grab her, they leave.
And there's no other people. Like, we had no idea there were other quantum people down there.
No, there's like entire civilizations because now we've expanded this universe.
Sure.
But you're right. She was cool in this movie, and she got to kind of kick ass a little bit.
Yeah.
And she got to wear a suit in a couple of scenes, which we've not seen her do, because she doesn't do that anymore.
I suppose, yeah.
And Michael Douglas shows up, and he was not in this very much.
No, and I can definitely tell, Michael Douglas, you are an old man.
He's doing his part. But yeah, referring to him as grandpa, like he was the most grandpa in this movie.
Yeah, and I love how Michelle Pfeiffer is allowed to just have her gray hair. I think it looks really good.
I think that's a wig trend.
You think that's a wig?
I think that's a wig. But then again, I haven't really seen her out on like a red carpet in a really long time.
No.
So I don't really know what her deal is.
And we've talked about Michelle Pfeiffer in general, where like I haven't really seen a lot of her movies over the years, but like, this is pretty much my only exposure to her.
Is this
that
universe?
Yeah. So to see her be able to do her thing and be this badass is refreshing to me anyway.
Well, it's that thing I constantly talk about when we talk about Marvel in general. You need the actors who bring gravitas.
Yeah.
And she may not have any Oscars or anything under her belt, but she has been known to be a serious actress for a really long time.
Michael Douglas is a big, big name.
He's a big name, and he has been for like 50 years.
And these are stupid movies.
And he gets to be really stupid in them.
Yeah, for him to be totally in on this and get the jokes and just say the word ants like a dozen times.
They're my ants, and let me explain away what happened. I was getting a signal, and they showed up, and they're my ants.
Ants!
Ants!
We've talked about this off mic, but there's an ad where it's just Paul Rudd and Michael Douglas like slapping their knees and slapping their hands together and just going to the camera and saying, ants! Ants! Ants!
It was when the first movie came out. It's an absurd promotional video.
Seek that out if you haven't seen that. It's stupid. It's really stupid.
And that's just sort of the humor of this series. So if you like stupid and you just want to go on the ride, this is a perfectly fine movie to do it. And of course, you know what's going to happen. Either they're going to destroy this Kang and get away, or they're going to get away and he's still going to be alive. Those were really the only two versions of how this could go.
And we really don't know what happens to him here.
No, I do like that he's like, when Scott is back on planet Earth, he's happily walking along and he's like, we destroyed him. We did destroy him, right? What if he didn't? What if we didn't get him?
Did I just kill everybody?
Did I just ruin everything?
He said he was going to be coming back, or somebody's coming back. Wait, is everybody dead now? It's probably okay. It's probably okay.
So yeah, even they're sort of self-aware and planting the seeds of doubt for the viewer, because even Scott isn't sure that they won, because we see Kang get kind of sucked into his power source.
Sure.
And we presume he's dead. And I believe this Kang is dead because all of the other Kangs in the mid-credit scenes say, well, the one who was exiled is dead. I wouldn't be coming to you to tell you this if he wasn't.
Right. Well, and even in the Loki guy, he said, wait till you see my other variants. Because a lot of them are evil, I would imagine.
They're all evil. Every single Kang is bad. Like, as far as they have...
Even the Pharaoh?
Even... As far as we know, as far as the limited knowledge we have been given and what they have told us, Kang himself, the two versions we've met, they have led us to believe that every single version of Kang is evil. It's just how evil. How far is he willing to go?
Right. And like this whole scene of them in the arena where everybody kind of shows up, it reminded me of where Thanos was in the previous movies, where he's just kind of sitting on a throne and there are other people there just talking to him.
Floating out in space somewhere.
Yeah. It just reminded me of that.
Yeah, that's how they're teasing it. That's how they're setting it up. Like, oh, he's out there.
Sure.
Look how many of them there are. We called them all. How many? Everyone.
They're doing the same thing as what they did with Thanos. It's a drip, just a drip.
Until we build up to the next Avengers movie.
Yeah.
But will he show up in a teaser for any of the other ones? Will he show up in any capacity in Guardians?
Well, I don't think so. I think the next exposure we're going to have to Kang is in season 2 of Loki.
Because that's the end credit scene.
Yeah.
Is Loki and Mobius in a theater in like the 1800s or early 1900s and another variant of Kang.
Yeah.
So you're right. We probably will go back into the TV universe. But this
comes out soon.
I think so. I haven't seen any trailers or anything, but I think they're filming it or in post-production, something like that.
I think season 2 is pretty soon because Guardians 3 comes out in May, and I have to believe that Loki comes out soon after that.
Okay. So it's a little bit weird because Loki has been dead in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but they found an excuse to bring him back to life sort of in the universe and then brought him to TV, and now he's crossing back over into the movies, but that seems like it was just a clip from the show. So it's this weird like crossover thing happening where I'm like, wait, is this the movie version or the TV version?
It's all the same. It's all important, Betsy. You can't skip anything.
Fair enough. And we still have more to go. They released a poster this week for the Marvels, and we haven't even watched Ms. Marvel yet.
We haven't seen Ms. Marvel. We haven't seen She-Hulk.
We got some TV to watch yet.
We just recently finished Hawkeye.
Finally. God, that took us a long time.
And I don't even know if we're going to watch Moon Knight.
We're going to watch Moon Knight.
God damn it.
Trent, we're those people. You know we're going to watch Moon Knight. You can keep saying it all you want. It's going to happen.
All right, Oscar Isaac. You can have our attention for like 6 hours. Only because it's you. Anyway, let's talk about some other stuff here before we get to the emails. So at the beginning of the movie, Scott is, I don't know if he's on like a book tour, but he wrote a book.
He did write a book.
Based on him saving the world with
biography.
The Avengers. An autobiography, I guess, called Look Out for the Little Guy, which is, that's pretty good. I like that.
That's cute. All right.
That's cute. Fine. But he goes home at that scene and they're going to have dinner together. Of course, they do the joke about the little pizza making it into a big pizza.
It's just saved them $8.
I just saved $8. Which I would do. I would do that. But the Cassie character is this, like, I don't even know what to describe her as without using, like, terms that are derogatory. Like, she is, like, a social justice warrior.
She wants to help.
Yeah.
Basically, in her own way, she's not a superhero. She's really smart. They established that she's had some time on her hands while everyone had been snapped out of existence.
Yeah, and, like, Scott and Hope go to bail her out of jail because she got arrested at a protest against the San Francisco Police Department.
Peaceful protesters.
There were peaceful protesters. I believe what they were protesting was the raiding of homeless encampments. And there's a lot of people who are very much up in arms about such things. And those people are considered to be, what I said, social justice warriors. She said later in the movie when Scott was just trying to save them and get them out of there, just because it isn't happening to you doesn't mean it isn't happening, which is very much like an activist point of view where you want to go around and use your time, use your influence, and use your money to go out and help other people, whether it affects you or not, just for the betterment of all people.
Meanwhile, Scott's been kind of resting on his laurels.
Yeah.
He says at the end of his book, I'm ready when the Avengers need me. Okay, well, why aren't you just doing it by yourself?
Exactly.
Why do you got to wait for the Avengers?
Right. You clearly don't need to pay for food anymore, so you have a lot of money.
I love you, Spider-Man!
And then later he gets charged $12 instead of $4.
The other bug guy. The other one.
Yes. But yeah, she is disappointed in him for not using his power and influence and abilities to help other people.
And meanwhile, she's grown up without him being around.
Exactly.
So we're kind of contending with all these things.
Yeah, and I kind of appreciate the fact, I don't like it, but I appreciate the fact that they bring Scott's past of being a criminal, being a thief, back into it, where, you know what? I'm being pulled back into this life of needing to go and use my skills as a burglar to do this thing for you. And it kind of gets done in the first movie as well. He gets hired to go and steal this suit, right?
I think so? Question mark?
I think that's
It's been
the
a
thing.
while.
But yeah, it's the whole idea, like, once a criminal, always a criminal.
And she's trying to change him.
Yeah, like, go out of your way to try to go and help people and make amends that way.
Right. Well, and in the trailer, like, they have a lot of footage of Kang saying, I can give you time. And I thought the whole point of this was going to be...
fake out.
It is. I thought the whole point was going to be he's going to find a way to give Scott the time that he lost, because that's how they approach it in the trailer.
Yeah.
We don't get any of that.
That's a big fake
It's
out.
a bunch of bullshit.
He's talking to Michelle Pfeiffer about the time that she lost with her daughter. Yeah.
Well, they talk to both of them. Like, that
Yeah.
happens twice. He keeps saying, I can give you the time you lost. But it's
Sure.
just a line because he's just saying whatever he needs to manipulate them.
Sure, but he doesn't take the bait in
No,
this case.
he does go along with it. And then we get this really weird scene where he has to go inside the power source and shrink it back down. But it's a probability storm. Why? Because reasons.
Well, it's kind of like all of the different like timelines, like they're all represented by these tendrils coming out of a big light source. It's kind of the same thing. Any like little tiny choice that you make, you could take a left turn instead of a right turn. Well, there's another probability over here.
But it doesn't really get explained. They just say, you're in the core of this, so clearly it's a probability storm. And it's an excuse to have millions of Scott
Yeah.
all
a
working
mass
together.
of Ant-Man.
All I could think about was that scene at the end of Ralph Breaks the Internet, where there were 1,000 Ralphs all forming this creepy mass.
I was thinking of World War Z.
That too.
Yeah.
Both. And in this movie, they all have a common goal because Cassie is their common goal and they work together. But up until then, it's just chaos. Like there's a giant one saying, I got this, and he's destroyed, and there's body parts flying everywhere.
There's also the Baskin Robbins version
There's
of
the
it.
Baskin Robbins wearing a
love that.
name tag that says Jack.
Jack.
It's not even the right name tag.
I love that they keep bringing that back.
But yeah, this scene again is just an excuse to play.
It's a big CG fest again.
It's a big CG fest. It was mildly amusing, but it was too short or too long, depending on how you felt about it.
I felt like it was too long.
And then it was just over, and we didn't talk about it again. And they
But
just
then
sort of
Hope-
justified it.
But then Hope shows up and helps him out, and that the same thing was happening to her.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she can control it because
then
she's
yeah.
Hope and better than him, I guess.
I don't know. I mean, she's definitely more capable.
I don't know.
And she shows up and saves the day again at the end of the movie.
Yeah, there were just a lot of easy ways out in this movie.
Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of people are coming from. It's kind of easy. It's kind of lazy. And, you know, if this is how we have to introduce Kang to the rest of the MCU, I'm okay with this. I think I like it better than the last Ant-Man.
I don't even really remember what the plot of that one was, so
Yeah.
probably.
Well, I at least like it more than Love and Thunder, which is a lot for me to say. Like, I was really hoping that Love and Thunder was going to be amazing.
I don't know if I feel the same as you, but maybe just because there was more emotion in Love and Thunder
Yeah,
than
and-
there was in this one.
Yeah, and we've talked about that, so I don't know, Betsy. It was fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
I would watch it again.
We will, because we're gluttons for punishment and we watch all of this stuff repeatedly.
It's true, but all right. Gonna be kind of a short one today, but that's okay. We're gonna read an email now. This one's coming in from Stephanie about one we did about a month ago, The Addams Family. Because, you know, that goes along with a Marvel movie.
Why not?
Why not? She says, I love these weirdos. They're a very supportive and loving family. As dark and weird as they are, they're actually a very positive representation of a family. Indeed. There are some very 90s references, but honestly, I love it. LOL at MC Hammer. I love the humor and how cartoonish this movie is.
Yeah, Ant-Man could have been really cartoonish if they chose to go that route, but they
MODOK
didn't.
was about the most cartoonish it was.
Right.
I can definitely see the Addams fortune coming from antiquities of some sort. I would like to know about Morticia's side of the family.
Yeah, we don't know where she comes from.
Nope. This is a weird and wonderful movie. Christina Ricci will always be my Wednesday, but I do like Jenna Ortega and will probably like the new show, but I have a lot of Oscar movies to watch. We have a couple few left to go. She says, I watched Elvis last night. Why is that movie so damn long? Come on, guys. I'm really going to struggle with the length of these damn nominees this year. Speaking from the truth. Thank you, Stephanie, for that email. Yeah, I appreciate a movie like this where it is just 2 hours long and there is a lot to absorb, especially when you have to wait through the entire credits.
Well, yeah, because that's the whole thing, and I hate when we're at these Marvel movies and people leave.
Half the theater got up and left.
Do you not know anything about Marvel?
And then almost the rest of them left after the mid-credits scene. Have you never seen a Marvel movie before, guys?
Yeah, or you can at least Google it. I literally was like, is there anything else? You can check that.
There is
a website.
An app for that.
There's an app for that?
Yes.
I thought it was just a website.
No, it is an app. It's called After Credits. Download it. It's free. It's great.
And it will tell you whether it's worth your time to stay through the credits.
It is a fan-voted thing if there's something during the credits and after the credits. So if there's something just during, you don't have to wait through the entire thing.
Very useful in this Marvel cinematic universe.
Yes.
Since every 3 months we're doing this.
Well, and other movies have started to do it too.
That's true. Not that often, but once in a while you get a mid-credits.
Depending on
usually
the
a
genre.
mid-credits if it's anything.
Yes. Or if they're expecting like a sequel to something. Anyway, all right. Well, that's going to be the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. It's the last time I'm going to have to say that full title. If you would like to talk to us about Marvel movies, this one, Love and Thunder, any of them coming up, or even the TV shows, eventually we will watch all the TV shows.
Or the 73 previous Marvel movies.
God. Yeah, tell us what you thought about this one. Email us at neverseenitpod@gmail.com. That is neverseenitpod@gmail.com. Go to the podcast description, the thing you're holding in your hand right now. Scroll down, you'll see all the links to get to our social media pages, as well as a link to our Anchor page where you can throw us $1 and help support the show. We have got 3 more Oscar movies to cover before we hit Oscar Sunday. Those come out on Wednesdays. We also have our 200th movie coming up.
Sunday!
Gonna be a very special episode planned for this coming Sunday, so do not miss it. But that is going to be the end of this here episode. Betsy, I want to thank you for being my co-host today and always and forever.
You're stuck with me, pal.
Until the end of
Quantumania.
Until the end of the MCU, at the very least.
Lord, we're going to be together forever.
All right. Thanks again for listening. My name is Trent.
My name is Betsy.
We'll catch you next time.
Bye.